Thank you, Jasmine, and thank you, Dr. Your Mom, for inviting me to speak about a very important topic, which is drug development in PSC. For those of you who aren't familiar with Ipsen, our global headquarters is in Paris, France, but we also have a US office in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is where I live and where I work. We're dedicated to developing drugs for better outcomes for patients with rare liver diseases. Why I'm here today is PSC, which I'll talk about more, but we also have ongoing development programs in other rare liver diseases like PBC, PFIC, Alagille syndrome, and biliary atresia. And kind of our purpose in drug development at Ipsen and what we do with each of these development programs that are ongoing and potentially more in the future is we focus on where is there an opportunity to innovate, so where is there an unmet need where new drugs may bring additional benefit to patients. We then speak with the patient community to understand from them what their unmet needs are and what developing a new drug in this disease would mean to them. And then, our focus is on, once we know where we're going, is doing everything we can to deliver. So design the clinical trials and execute those clinical trials to try to bring patients new therapies. And then we're always future thinking as well. So on the previous slide, we have development programs ongoing in 5 rare liver diseases, but we're always looking for where else could we develop new therapies where patients are in need that would fit with our skill set. And so with that brief intro, I'll transition to why I'm really here today, which is to talk about our PSC development program. And this is my disclaimer. I was asked to provide an update, and also importantly, elafibranor is approved for PBC, but it is not approved for PSC. So that's currently being investigated, and more to come on that. And so what is elafibranor, if you've not heard of it? So as I said, elafibranor is a drug that was approved a couple of years ago for the treatment of primary biliary cholangitis, and it is now being investigated as a potential treatment for primary sclerosing cholangitis. It's an oral medication that is an agonist of something called PPAR, so it's a PPAR alpha delta agonist, and we think that dual activation of PPAR alpha and PPAR delta may function synergistically in PSC by, as this schematic shows, decreasing inflammation, decreasing bile acid synthesis and toxicity, and decreasing fibrosis. Dr. Bolus presented a few slides from the phase 2 study of elafibranor called Elmwood that was published last year. I include this slide for completeness, as has been said today. If you go on clinicaltrials.gov and search for ongoing PSC trials, and if you search for elafibranor specifically, you would see this study as ongoing. But what's important perhaps for this community is that it's no longer recruiting. So the study is fully recruited, but the open label extension remains ongoing. And so for the 60 plus patients who were enrolled in this study originally to receive either 2 different doses of elafibranor or placebo, there is an open label extension of 2 years duration that all patients who completed the 12-week study had the opportunity, and many took the opportunity, to continue receiving elafibranor 120 milligrams once daily for the additional 2 years. That study remains ongoing, and in the future we will also publicly present what we learn about the efficacy and safety of this compound with that additional 2 years of follow-up. But perhaps what's most relevant to the folks in this room today and online is the new phase 3 study for elafibranor that we are initiating based on what we think were promising phase 2 results from the Elmwood study. So this new phase 3 study is called ELASCOPE, and it's a multinational randomized double-blind placebo-controlled trial that is going to investigate the efficacy and safety of elafibranor in PSC. It's not yet recruited, but I will say that it is anticipated to start recruiting imminently. So really any day now, we're hopeful that the first sites actually here in the US will be open for screening, and we'll be getting our first patient enrolled into this study really any day now. This is a large study, so we're looking to recruit approximately 350 adult patients with PSC. And we designed this study with input and collaboration from patients living with PSC, including with PSC partners. And we have tried to include measures in this study that decreases the burden on participants because, as the schematic shows, we're looking to randomize patients 1-to-1, so equal chances of receiving elafibranor 120 milligrams or placebo. And the design of this study is a time to clinical outcome event study. And so that means that participation in this study could last for up to 5 years. And we know that is a major commitment, and it is very difficult to be in a study for so long. And so we have incorporated elements into the study to try to decrease that burden. And so what are we measuring? I think as Dr. Bolus covered, drug development in PSC today is challenging because there's not a biomarker that can be used confidently, like as was the case in diabetes or hypertension, to say if we decrease this lab parameter, that patients will have improved fetal functioning or survival. And so we're looking at event-free survival as our primary endpoint, and that's defined as time from randomization to the first clinical outcome event, things such as progression to cirrhosis, decompensation event, transplant, death, or complications of cholangitis. And then also we're looking at the effect of elafibranor on alkaline phosphatase. And based on our phase 2 results, we saw some promising data on pruritus, so we're also looking at pruritus improvement. And then in our PBC programs, we've seen some potentially compelling data looking at improvement in fatigue, and so we're also going to evaluate if elafibranor can improve fatigue in patients with PSC. And then from a safety perspective, I would say a typical variety of tests that we'll implement in this study to ensure that patients are also safe when receiving elafibranor, so typical clinical assessment, laboratory tests, imaging, and we'll also ask patients to complete patient-reported outcome questionnaires as well. And who is eligible to participate? So this is taken from clinicaltrials.gov. You can get full details from clinicaltrials.gov, and also information is available through the PSC Partners webpage as well. But we're looking at adults with PSC with a confirmed diagnosis of large duct PSC who have compensated liver disease with no history of liver transplant or prior decompensation. Stable background therapy is okay, so if you're on UDCA, that's okay. You can continue that in this study. And if you're a female of childbearing potential who's interested in potential participation, we just ask that you use a highly effective method of birth control during the study. And I put in my slides the link to our clinicaltrials.gov listing, which provides full inclusion-exclusion criteria details. So with that, I will say thank you for giving me the time to present today. In this picture, it's a bit hard to see, but this is a photo we took a couple of years ago now. It's our PBC drug development team, but it's a lot of the same people working on our PSC development program as well. You can see a lot of people in that photo, and it's because it really takes an army of people to do drug development with a lot of different expertise, bringing a lot of different perspectives. And so we're all thankful for your participation in our clinical trials because we know it's a significant commitment. And of course, we couldn't do this without you. So thank you.